I'm here with Jim Brown on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's talk about Johnny Manziel right now. One of the quarterbacks in Cleveland. There's Josh McCown sitting there, and everybody believes that it's going to be his gig to lose based on Manziel having still trouble grasping what it's like to be a professional, maybe off the field or certainly on it. Where do you stand on Johnny Manziel's viability as a future quarterback of the Cleveland Browns right now, Jim Brown?
Well, the first thing I have to do, and I think you might have to do it too, Rich, we have to realize that we didn't scout him in college and we didn't draft him.
Mm-hmm.
Someone drafted him. And that person is supposed to have an expertise on talent because he was drafted pretty high. So I'm going to rely upon the expertise of those people, at least until Johnny gets a chance to demonstrate whether he can do it or not. I'm pulling for him, and I recognize with his type of profile, people will pick on him. And then with his attitude, he might call some of that to bear. So, but bottom line, I think he's a nice young man. I think he has talent, and I think he needs an opportunity to prove himself.
Have you spoken to him recently?
Only saying hello. I hate to be one of the guys that's got the answer for Johnny.
There are enough of those, is essentially what you're saying. But what would you say? Now, that wouldn't mean that you have any ownership of his actions or belief system, but what would you say to Johnny Manziel, Jim?
First of all, I would encourage him because for him to accept rehab, it's a big step. So many people out there need to take note. Mm-hmm. Go to rehab. You're not able to do it by yourself. And I would say to him, be a professional and be honest with the game. Be true to the game. Be a professional. Be true to the game. Don't take the money and run. It's not about the money. It's about the way that you dedicate yourself to performing on the field, entertaining the fans, being true to who you're supposed to be, and do that as strong as you can.
And, you know, the incident that recently happened that was discussed on the internet, social media, Mike Pettin, the coach, said it's much ado about nothing involving a fan coming up to him and the reaction that came from Johnny and his friends. I'm sure you've been on the business end many times of fans heckling you in one way, shape, or form. How do you, as a high-profile athlete, or back in the day, or what advice you'd give to Johnny now for this day, handle something like that?
Well, you said high-profile athlete. You know, they're high-profile athletes and they're high-profile individuals. Then there are guys that are just individuals. I'm just an individual. I never left the ghetto. I never left the black neighborhoods. I live with the people. And I don't use bodyguards, intimidation. I invite people to my home. I invite gangbangers to my home. I invite anyone to my home. And I share my life with them. But I don't take any mess. But when you share things with people and you care about them, you don't have to take mess.
But, I mean, not taking mess, sometimes somebody will snap a picture, somebody will tell a story, and then it may not be either the truth or something that you not taking mess in private suddenly becomes a public matter, Jim.
Well, I mean, if I had to complain about that, I'd be sitting here for another 100 hours. Mm-hmm. I've been involved in all kinds of things. Maybe you've forgotten, but I'm probably one of the most controversial, at least young men that's ever come along in sports.
Oh, I have not forgotten.
Oh, good.
No. Okay. I remember that.
So they had me doing all kinds of things. Some of them might have been true, but most of them were not true. Okay, I've never lived a perfect life, but I've always been an honest person, and I live within myself. I have a spirit that carries me, and that's the reason I don't have bodyguards when I have 400 gangsters at my home, because somehow that spirit reaches out to people, and they can feel that you care about them. And most people, if you care about them, they'll respond properly.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.